I grew up in Queens and then Edison, New Jersey. You know, very immigrant lifestyle. My parents, like Nintendo, I had to buy with my own baseball card and lemonade money. So my mom was like, you're not getting stuff. Like, you'll get clothes, food. Like, and she would buy the occasional present for a birthday, but I didn't get toys off cycle. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't like I'm not there's two people in the world. People that got toys on cycle or off cycle. On cycle was birthday and the biggest holiday.
Christmas.
That's right. For me, Hanukkah, right?
Yeah.
Off cycle is people that just went to Toys R Us randomly on Thursday and got shit. Yeah. That was not my life. That was not my life. Yeah. So, but I wanted stuff. Like, who doesn't? And so I learned to eat on what I hunted. I did lemonade. I did garage sale. I did washing cars. I did it. And so that's how I grew up. It made me who I am. But what's really interesting in hindsight was I didn't want money to buy things to impress others, which is what I believe most people do.
Yeah, it's very true.
I don't think people realize, even people who are listening right now who say that's not me, might not realize it's them. Yeah. People don't realize that the Rolex or the Lambo or these things are 65% of the time there to cover your own insecurity and project. You know, I've tried to do a better job clarifying. I used to be very aggressive against this, but there are many people who grow up and actually like care about the craftsmanship of watches and appreciate. That's a different thing. That's you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
But it's when people are doing it for them to disguise their insecurity because they didn't grow up with anything, or they think they're from the trailer park, or a minority, or a gender, or whatever it is. You know, that becomes a Band-Aid that compounds your issue.
No doubt.
I got lucky in that I felt so much gratitude towards my parents for getting me out of Soviet Russia, for being the best parents, for always trying to do by me. And I kind of had this sense that I was special at business early, that I was like, pretty much romanticized this concept in my mind in my teenage years that I was going to go into the family business and explode it for my pops, and then I would do something. And that became more real when my brother was born and became my best friend. When I was 18, my 7-year-old brother AJ was already my best friend. He was more mature than most 7-year-olds. I was more immature than most 18-year-olds. And we kind of, you know, and so somewhere around the time he was 14 or 15, 16, he already started talking about, we're going to, we already kind of decided we're going to do business together.
Okay.
What was also interesting is my dad's kind of an old school guy. My brother's more like my dad than I am, and I'm more of a good compliment for my dad. So my brother knew pretty early, 15, 16, he didn't want to work in the wine store, in a liquor store. So I already had in the back of my mind that there may be this crossroads where I might do something with AJ. I kind of thought of it as I was going to do both. I didn't really know. But I remember knowing that I was going to give my parents this time.
Sure.
And for people who are listening that are in immigrant family businesses, you know, I grew my dad's business from a $4 million business to a $65 million business in a very short period of time.
Wow, dude.
Impressive.
And it really, as you can imagine, changes a family's life.
Yeah.
Like, it just changed everything for us. I had to buy my first car was bought at a garage sale. My brother's first car was
They're selling cars at garage sales?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like,
$50? What do you, I mean,
$550. A 1976 Monte Carlo red cherry with a huge dent in it.
perfect. Perfect.
My brother's first car was a Lexus, right? So that's a very big difference of 11 years, right?
Sure.
But so I changed my family's business. But what was challenging was this business was exploding, but I was getting paid $60,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, like not big numbers. Had I gone and just got employed by somebody and given a chance, I could be making millions doing this. So it was a really interesting chapter where I gave up the first 12 years of my career from 22 to 34 for my parents. Never made a lot of money, lived in an apartment by the store in Springfield, New Jersey. And, you know, I see a lot of value in that. I've talked about that at length, but something I'm starting to realize was I got double lucky. Because I was never gonna get paid anything, and because I was so committed to the religious ideology of I'm gonna help my parents, I didn't even have the option to want to buy good things.
Right.
It wasn't even in play. I wasn't in control. I was in control of the decision I made to help my parents, but the economics that came along with it limited the things I could do, so I did nothing. I bought nothing. And from 22 to 34, never making that much money, I was happy as shit.
And that structure was already built in.
I was happy as shit.
You do what you loved. Yeah.
I was happy as shit.
Yeah.
There's like we could break it down a million different ways. I was happy as shit.
Yeah.
More importantly, big kudos to my mother. I was happy as shit from 5 to 15 where we really didn't have shit.
Right.
So I think the luckiest person on earth is someone that's born into nothing who's happy every day, because she or he, when they become an adult, realize compoundly black and white obvious that money does not equate to happiness.
Right.
Right.
Right? Because if you're born into a lot and you're happy, you might consciously and subconsciously think the money made you happy. We went on nice vacations, dinners.
Yeah.
If you're born into nothing and your household's unhappy, you think money will get you out of it.
Sure.
But if you're born into nothing and you're happy the whole time, boy, are you on a foundation.
No doubt.
Yeah.